Hey there, quirky people. I'm your host, Anna, and today we're going to look at all the interesting movies and TV series coming out in February 2023. One could argue that February doesn't seem all that interesting when it comes to entertainment, but I can assure you that your opinion will change after watching this video. January 2023 has offered some amazing shows like The Last of Us, Vikings Valhalla, Kaleidoscope, and Hunters Season 2. And as far as the movies are concerned, Megan, Plane, and A Man Called Otto have also been acclaimed outings. Now February is going to match the quality of content that we've been getting this year. We usually categorize the upcoming movies of a month according to their release dates, but this time, we're changing the pattern and arranging them categorically. I'll reveal what's coming in the theaters first, and then follow it up with the exciting projects coming out on streamers. Okay, so let's start the theatrical releases with Knock at the Cabin.
We were called and are united by a common vision, which has now become a command that we cannot ignore.
Even though all M. Night Shyamalan movies haven't been worth watching, there's always a curiosity around what he comes up with. And on February 3rd, the director brings us another thriller with Knock at the Cabin. The film features a stellar cast of actors with Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint from Harry Potter, and Jonathan Groff from Mindhunter and The Matrix 4. As far as the plot is concerned, a girl and her two fathers are taken hostage by four strangers while they are vacationing at a cabin in the woods. The four strangers are reluctant to go through with it, but apparently, they have to do this to stop the apocalypse from happening. And they offer the family to make a horrible choice to avoid the apocalypse. But apparently, they have to do this to stop the apocalypse from happening. It'll be interesting to see what the family is asked to do in this intense thriller. Next up, we've got Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Disconnected, we're gonna wake them up with a wave of passion they've never felt before.
Channing Tatum returned to acting after a long break.
So,
And now he is playing his most popular character one last time. The ladies loved him as the infamous stripper Magic Mike, and now he'd have to take the stage once more after going broke because of a faulty business deal. But this final outing is going to be a bit personalized, as Mike Lane will show his explicit talent to Salma Hayek's character, and she'd be the one to launch him back to stardom. Finally, Mr. Magic Mike will see a road to glory on February 10th. This Valentine's week will be quite special for all couples watching Magic Mike's Last Dance. But after that, you'd get the movie of the month, that is, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. After Endgame, Scott Lang tries to make up for the time he's missed in Cassie's life, and their dynamic will make Quantumania a very touching father-daughter tale at its core. That's also because Hope will come across some difficulties involving her own parents. The whole Ant-Man team will reassemble, and instead of just Scott, all of them will be traveling through the quantum realm, where they will come across Kang the Conqueror. He is the most formidable Marvel villain to date. In fact, he's even more dangerous than Thanos. And somehow, Scott will manage to beat him within the quantum realm. It will be interesting to see how that happens when Quantumania arrives on February 17th. Next up, Universal Pictures will offer us Cocaine Bear. This is one of the most exciting comedy movies coming out in 2023. Just as the title suggests, this film is exactly about a bear who accidentally consumes a lot of cocaine. And guess what? It is actually inspired by a true story from 1985. As crazy as it sounds, the fun begins when a bear did cocaine and went apeshit crazy. The dark comedy stars Alden Ehrenreich from Solo: A Star Wars Story, and it arrives on February 24th. This is where the interesting theatrical releases end. But before I continue, it would be nice if you guys would click on those like and subscribe buttons to support our channel. With that out of the way, let's begin with the next section of Netflix projects. As always, Netflix will offer a bunch of movies and TV shows like My Dad the Bounty Hunter and Unlocked, which might interest some. But according to me, they'd get major attention for 3 projects in particular. You, Season 4 Part 1. Joe Goldberg continues his twisted and dark tale after escaping his old life with Love Quinn. Chasing after his new crush Marion, he has taken up residence in the UK. And it will be interesting to see how he finds her in an unknown city and explains what he did in the past and why he did it. But that's not all. He'd find himself between a bunch of damaged people as his past comes back to haunt him. On February 9th, we'll get the first half of this hit Netflix series. And after that, the streamer launches Your Place or Mine. Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher will be starring in a romantic comedy which also arrives in the Valentine's week. They play two long-distance best friends, Debbie and Peter, who change each other's lives. When Debbie decides to pursue a lifelong dream, Peter volunteers to keep an eye on her teenage son. But just a week after that, they realize that their needs are totally different, and that's where the drama begins. This rom-com arrives on February 10th, and after that, Netflix will bring us We Have a Ghost. This film stars MCU and Netflix actors Anthony Mackie and David Harbour. The narrative follows Kevin and his family, who discover that their house is haunted by a ghost named Ernest. This makes them a social media sensation. But when Kevin and Ernest get to the bottom of the mystery of Ernest's past, they become targets of the CIA. As of now, We Have a Ghost is set to release on February 24th, but this date could be changed. Now let's move on to the Prime Video releases. This streamer doesn't release as many movies and TV shows as Netflix, but it surely has some quality releases coming in February. And the first of them will be Carnival Row Season 2.
What have you got in mind?
This series is set in a Victorian fantasy world filled with mythological immigrant creatures. But their exotic homelands were invaded by the empires of men. So, the growing population of the creatures struggles to coexist with humans as they are forbidden to live, love, or fly with freedom. Now their conflict will carry forward in Season 2, which continues to feature familiar names like Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne. It begins streaming on February 14th and will be followed by The Consultant.
My purpose is to improve the business.
This dark comedy series features Christoph Waltz as Regis Padoff, who is a business consultant. He is hired to improve the business of an app-based gaming company called Compware. But as soon as he arrives, the lives of all the employees become tough as they experience new demands and challenges. Things get interesting from here on out, as Regis Padoff is not your regular consultant. He isn't normal, and his antics create a warlike scenario between him and the Compware employees. The first 2 episodes of The Consultant arrive on February 24th, and they will be accompanied by Die Hard the Movie. So far, we've seen 1 season of the Die Hard series where Kevin Hart plays a fictionalized version of himself. He went on a death-defying quest to become an action star. And with a little help from the likes of John Travolta, Natalie Emmanuel, and Josh Hartnett, he becomes exactly that. Now that series will be followed by a satirical action comedy movie. But this new outing will rework the concept of the old series. After this, we've got the Paramount Plus projects. The streamer will continue to release new episodes of Jeremy Renner's Mayor of Kingstown Season 2, which began in January. But it will also begin streaming Star Trek Picard Season 3.
Fire!
It is set at the end of the 24th century, 18 years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis. Sir Patrick Stewart returned to reprise his iconic role of Jean-Luc Picard in 2020. The first 2 seasons played on Prime Video. Now we're getting the 3rd season on Paramount's own streaming service, where the retired admiral continues his journey to find closure. The first episode arrives on February 16th. After this, we've also got the Apple TV Plus series. Servant Season 4 will continue to stream from January, but Apple TV will also launch another highly anticipated series, Sharper. Julianne Moore and Sebastian Stan star in a psychological thriller as a mother and a son. Stan's character is a con artist who tries to steal the wealth of his mother's new billionaire lover. He plans to do that through Justice Smith's character, who is the weak son of this billionaire. This gripping drama begins streaming from February 17th. Besides these streamers, HBO Max and Disney Plus aren't offering any great new shows. They'll just continue to push out new episodes from shows like The Last of Us and The Bad Batch. Okay, that ends the list of all exciting February 2023 releases. Which of them are you excited about? Let us know in the comments. And once again, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.